Welcome to Highest Forex. I am Highest Zider. This is where we guide traders from foundation to freedom. Today we're going to talk about how we approach boom and crash, how we look to trade boom and crash. Without wasting much of our time, let's jump into the video. 500, and I'm currently on the 24-hour, which you all know as my number one time frame. Now I want to quickly say something about strategies. I've been receiving inboxes and comments from you guys asking me strategy to trade this, strategy to trade that, a strategy to trade boom and crash, a strategy to trade this. Bro, I want you guys to understand one thing in this industry. Instead of looking for strategy that trades a particular thing for you, you should look out for a strategy that is popularly working in every market. You understand? You have to understand strategy that works in every market. You have to understand the market itself so that you understand the strategy that works everywhere. Not looking out for strategy that trade boom and crash because you see traders being on it. Or you have to look for a strategy that can help you to understand the market, whatever the market is doing, how it is doing it. You have to look at a strategy that will help you to understand the whole term of the market, not just for you to want to trade boom and crash because you want to make so amount today. If you're a newbie, try to get yourself into a community of traders. It's going to be really hard for you to be alone and then do YouTube and then basically succeed very fast. It's going to be really hard because a lot of factors are taking us away from this thing. A lot of factors. You have people who are not believing in you, people who are there, all the losses are so discouraging and stuff like that. So you have to engage into a community, get yourself a mentor so that you can learn a working system, not being searching for strategy that you want to make so amount today. You really need planning. Well, the purpose of this video is for me to feed you guys back for the request of giving you a trading strategy for boom and crash. Now, there is no other different strategy for boom and crash for me apart from my strategy that I trade. I trade a strategy that can beat the market, where whatever kind of market it is, the crypto, the whatever kind of market it is, the forex market, the index, or whatever indices it is. You understand? That is the strategy I trade. I basically trade the Falconfx strategy, and then I kind of twisted the strategy to I edited my entry types personally, or in my community we use 3 entry criteria, but I'm going to use only one, the first entry criteria in this video, to show you how I will be trading the boom and crash. This is basically a back test. So already you all know that whenever I come to the chart on the 24-hour, what I look out for is to understand the face of the market. So, and then I also like to work with the current phase. You understand? I don't like to go into the chart. That I like to stay on the current patterns. So from that, I have to mark the highest point of the current correction, right, or the current phase, and then the lowest point of it. I want to mark out this. Now, why I choose that place, you can see clearly that this is an impulse to the upside, and then we have this correction currently running down, right? So that is why I marked out that highs and low for myself. So that is it on the 24-hour. Let's go to the 4-hour. Then we can get to see in depth what is going on inside the charts. So clearly now you can see that the highest point and the lowest point is clearly what an impulse to the upside, and then it was a correction like this, which we can now connect our trend lines on. I want to put it there and to that place. So that's it, and then we have the resistive trend line from there to this correction. Right now, like I said, my strategy is what I use to trade everything. I don't jump from strategy to strategy. What you are supposed to understand is for you to try to learn a strategy that will help you to understand the market in whatever condition the market is. So this is and then pause and then a correction, right? So basically we just rejected this guy, so we are targeting to hit this one, right, this trend line. But the market is kind of like trying to reverse before, playing around. Yeah, the market has to play around before it comes down. From my experiences, I will tell you that the market is trying to, form a running channel before it hits the trend line, and then we find our way back up. Forgive my drawing though. So like I said, this is going to be like a back test, because though this trading view doesn't have the replay mode, though I'm going to back test from our highest point to the lowest point, so that you guys can see what how my strategy will have given me entries in this market, right? So my entries on the crash or the spiking index, the boom and the crash index, I always like to filter my entries from the 15 minutes. So you know how I wrote down the charts. For the 1 hour, you look for a current side, but let's go to 15 minutes so I can talk about the entries, because that is literally one of the uh, one of the biggest thing when you talk about strategies, because I know that is what those who requested the strategy are looking for, right? Now, at first, let's forget about the pattern we have drawn, right? At first, right, we have this impulse to the upside, then we have this running channel to the upside. If you clearly see that to the upside, right? Now, I was gonna draw like this because I want us to backtest, so we have to follow accordingly. So at first, we're having like this, we're having a market in this manner, or let's mark it like this, because this is what I would have done if the market was still, let's see, around here after creating this. That's what I would have done, right? So the place, now let's start from this one, the second touch of the trend line. This, a lot of you will say that I can't get an entry because the market has to leave that ends before I can mark it as a trend line. But you have to understand the fact that, or understand the scenario called trends within the trend, right? Now, if you look at this place very well, we see it created some kind of a trend. You see, we had this one, right? One, two, and then expecting the third touch, which we didn't touch, but we should find something that made the market not to go there, and then 1 2, right? So let's say we can't take this entry based on this structure, because this is the first one, this is the second one, these are the first ones, this is the second one, right? So the second one, basically, we can take an entry there. So for the second one, what I use for my entry, in my community, like I said, we have 3 entry criteria, but I'm only going to teach the criteria 1, because the remaining 2 are for the what uh our VIP community. So for the criteria 1, this is the rejection candle, the retracement candle kind of entry, which, look at it, hit the trend line and then it gave us a shooting star to the downside, a bearish formation, right? How we take this entry is that we take the sell at the close of the candle and then put our stop loss above it, above the wick of it, and then we target the next swing low, because this is the next swing low. So the TP was hit, as you can see. I would have gotten an entry there. Now, if you don't understand because of the trend line, it has to start leaving the trend line before I get it. Yeah, but I understand trends within the trend because I understand my strategy very well. So I know that this was a running channel, and then I definitely will sell because it had touches on the running channel, so I know that the sell-off will be great. Then with the confluence of this candle, I know that, yeah, it's time for me to sell, so I definitely will put a sell there. This is crash, and then this is the way I trade it. I don't go below the 15 minutes, because the other time frames are just the box candle, the box full body candles for the retracement, and then the spikes. So I don't go there because it literally don't create candle patterns for me. And how I trade the index is what is with candle patterns. So put a sell below the close and then the stop loss above, and you can see clearly it played out, right? Now, when this played to this end, one thing we do, and one thing my student understand, is the fact of evolving, right? And thanks to my community, thanks to Falcon, that's where I learned that. So right now, my community understand the fact of evolving, right? So while the market plays out, you have to now keep updating it so that you don't miss out. So if I was updating this, I also have this little downtrend to the little downtrend, right? And then in this little downtrend, I see we have 1 2, and then the third touch happened. At the third touch, what happened? We have a bullish pattern, which is called a bullish arami. You see, pregnancy candle kind of entry. Then after that, I take my buy here, the close of the bullish candle that confirmed the signal, put my stop below it, and then my profit will be the next swing high, because whenever the market hits the high, something happens. You don't know if it's going to reverse or it's going to keep playing. And then you see we smash the TP, taking the market to the upside, right? The next thing that happened there is what, like I said, when the market moves, you have to keep updating it. Keep to update your trend lines. So the market was, you have this impulse, it dropped impulsively, had another impulse to the upside. Then here the correction became valid for me. This would have been the correction I'll mark out, which is also what, a running channel for me. A running channel for me, you see. So it's another reversal for another, signal for reversals, right? So we had this candle, which is a bearish signal candle, this a bearish signal candle. Then I would have sold from there. Whenever I trade boom and crash, the entries are always risk entries, because I only use one candle confirmation as my entry. Then my target will be this swing low, or maybe if I want to target the 90%, I'll target that is 1:5, or I'll target this 1:8.2, and then it was a win. That is how I trade boom and crash. I don't uh, go out looking for strategies. My strategy, I try to understand how to beat every market with my strategy. All right. In my community, they understand we trade highest money concept, which we have developed by ourselves by combining Falcon strategy and SMC entries, which I said I won't be teaching you guys how we combine them, because that is for my premium community. You can check the link in the description below for you to join our free WhatsApp group, free WhatsApp Discord group, where we get to share ideas of trades and have fun with each other. Now, when all of this happened and then I caught all the moves there, I would have then I'll be comfortable enough to connect these two as my trend line, right? Then these two become a structure. Then already we find a way to get us an entry here already, right? Because we would have marked out this nigga dropping. You see? We would have see it dropping. Or I won't even take that. I'll take a running channel instead. I'll take the running channel, which is this 1 2, and then this. It takes a lot of practice and then experience for you to understand this thing when they are occurring, right? It takes a lot of practicing. And then, bro, I've been to a lot in this market, so I know what I'm doing. So I said, please stop looking for strategies and then get yourself into a community that will teach you how to preach the market like you were born with it. So when we had this kind of drop, we have this running channel. I see the rejection candle, and you all can see very clearly. So the buy will be where at the close of the candle, which is the beginning of this other one, and then my stop will be at the week
It's
of
3 o'clock.
Thank you, Samantha. My stop will be at the week of the candle, and then target to be the next high or this other high, and then you see we smashed it. Now this is where I will be looking for another sell, which didn't happen, right? I would have been looking for another sell right here, but it broke above. Now this is why I might have not taken the trade, or I won't take the trade, because you see we touched the trend line, but this didn't. It just closer and then started rejecting, and then clearly this rolling channel isn't good. It's not enough, because we have just a candle drop, like a candle like an impulse drop, and then an impulse upward, so it's not cool. And then I would have been waiting for this one to reject, but it didn't reject. Then clearly when we broke out the trend line, you can see the way we broke the trend line was a corrective way. You see, it went up, came back inside correctively. Then I know that, yeah, it's forming a channel, so I'll mark out my channel right there and then wait for the third touch of it, which happened right there. You see it? And then on the third touch of the channel, what happened? We created retracement candles, which would have been my entries, right? Just retracement candles. That is the way I trade boom and crash. Retracement candles at my important levels. Important levels, I mean by what? My trend lines. At the touches of my trend lines are my important level, and then that's how I sell. That's how I take the trades. Then I would have sold that, targeting the next swing low, which is this guy. And then you see we smash the TP, right? So that's how it is. If I keep going, I will keep showing you reasons why I would have taken each and every move that was played in this market. Now, when this come here, I would have known that this is a high and this another one. I can connect these two of them, right? So, bro, that's how it is. That's how I do the market. You just have to get yourself to understand a system that works in every market, and then understand how to use them in whatever market you are in. So if I was here to, when we touch the trend line, I would have known, understand that this is running channel as well. 1 2 3, you see, very clear. And then we have bullish pregnancy candle, and then we have 1 2. Then we know definitely that we're looking for, you see. So I took the buy here. I would have taken the buy here, my stops below the pattern low, right? And then boom, you see, you can see for yourself. You can see for yourself. Over and over, the market keep respecting what I'm showing to you guys. So you have to understand the strategy that helps you to read whatever kind of market you are reading. All right. That's how you are. That's how you be a good trader. Not looking at what you want to make today or tomorrow. Or if you don't have the good knowledge, you can't make nothing. Whatever you make by doing the whatever you think you are doing, you're definitely going to lose it back into the market. That's how the market is. It must take whatever you made by mistake, not whatever you made by cheating. You can't cheat in this market, no. So where we are currently in the market, I understand that we have to come to this trend line, but the market is yet to touch it, right? It only came closer and then rejected. I won't take a trade here because I know the market will find its way to, you see, will find its way, to the downside with a running channel, and then back up, find its way, and then we go continue the trend. That is how I know the market will play. So if so, for those who are looking for what market will do, I am anticipating this. I need the running channel to drop down. When the running channel comes here and I get retracement candle, I buy again. So this is how I read this spike index. If I go on boom, if I go on whatever spike index, this is how I do it. This is higher Zida. Thanks for watching.